Look, am I aware that there are people that may not like me, that may show up in our chat and send dollars and things like that? Hey, thank you for the money. I appreciate it. I probably won't read what you write. I just want to throw that out there. There's just certain things I can't say. There's certain things I can't discuss. I will thank you for your money. I will not read it. I will consider that your only warning. And our YouTube mods have asked me if they can go nuts. I never stopped you from going nuts. Do what you want. I don't think it's any secret that this is going to be an expensive deal. I've already paid for it. For however, long it I've seen people on message boards go, oh, he can't take it to this point because it's expensive and blah, 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 blah. I'm not destitute. I'm not broke. This business runs itself on a shoestring. That's true. Our goals, pretty much break us even. Gives a few $100 of breathing room every month. But I got $1 or $2 squirreled away. So, people are like, oh, can he do this? Can he take it to here? I'd like to see him take it here. I can go anywhere. I can go anywhere we need to. It's already paid for. So Thursday I find out about this warrant. And I just looked and I went, fucking horseshit. Obviously, if you want my opinion on that part of it, horseshit. The whole horseshit. That if you want a comment from me, if you want me to discuss that part of it, Todd V. Peterson is my attorney. Horseshit. But I talked to Todd on Thursday when I heard about it. Todd is board certified defense attorney. I mean, like a 9.6 ranking from the Criminal Defense Attorneys Guild or whatever the fuck the thing is there. He's the man. He's awesome. He is an encyclopedia. He's great. So Thursday I talked to him. Kind of gives me the rundown of everything. Friday we get everything signed. Within a half hour of having everything signed, Todd has multiple motions out. He's already contacting Stearns County, which, by the way, Todd working his fucking balls off at 10 a.m. when I signed the paperwork. And he can't get a hold of anybody from the county because they're off to vacation. They're off, to their trip. He can't get a hold of anyone he needs to. So he does it via email. So find out about it Thursday at the cabin. Everyone's like, he's on the run. He's on the run. I was not hard to find. The problem is there are hundreds, if not thousands, of warrants out on people. You can't just show up and grab them all. So we let everyone know that needed to know that on Tuesday morning at 6 a.m., coming in Tuesday morning, 6 a.m., I will be there, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, well-dressed, as I was. We'll get to that part. But I had a great weekend, went to the lake, spent it with the family, the kids, everybody else. And then, so Tuesday comes around, and I get up. I hit the snooze button. I slept till 5:30. I was asleep till 5:10. I slept till 5:30. I get showered. I put my shirt on. I put my pants on. I put my coat on. I put my socks on. As I'm getting my shoes on downstairs, there's a knock at the door and a flashlight through the window. And I'm like, motherfucker, come on. I'm just like, everybody, like, it was known that I was coming. And I think because it was known I was coming, I think that's why they showed up. I do. I have nothing to go on with that other than my personal belief. But, they wanted to do it, it felt like. So I will say this, Officer Toma could not have been cooler. In fact, we'll go through this as we kind of walk through what the process was. Everyone at Stearns County was so remarkably nice and so remarkably cool and so incredibly professional. They were all the officers are awesome people. They were all super, super nice. It was, and especially now seeing what they deal with on a daily basis. Holy shit. while I was being booked after my court appearance, one of the deputies, as he's asking me medical questions, somebody has just been freaking out this entire time. I mean, like, you're like, blah, 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 and he's screaming his fucking balls off. And he just looks at me and he smiles. He goes, "You sure you don't want to stick around?" I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. I'll go home. That's all right. So he comes up. I let him in. I said, "Hey, literally, you see me with all my clothes on, and everything. I'm putting my shoes on. I'm on my way in. I'm coming." As a matter of fact, if I hadn't hit snooze, I'd have been gone already. And he said, "The rules are I got to take you." Blah, blah, blah. So I'm looking for phones and wallets and all the stuff that I'm going to bring with me. Number, piece of paper with my attorney's number and a couple other phone numbers on it. And he's very patient while I round up all of these things, while I say goodbye and everything else. He could not have been more professional. We walk out together, and he goes, "Why don't you come down the road a ways? I'll cuff you over here. We'll do it kind of by the corner of the front of the vehicle. We'll do it in front of you. Your neighbors don't have to see." And I was like, "You know what? I appreciate that. Thank you." Did a little quick search. Cuffs on in the back. Here's a dick move, and I thought this was funny. He purposely changed the station to 101.7 and the Johnny Rock Show. I feel like that was on purpose. The only thing is, I don't know if they just don't do anything on that show. It was all music the whole time, which is kind of fucking boring. But I'm in the back of the car, and I just ask him, I go, "Do you mind if I go into my pocket, get my phone, email my attorney, let him know, on the way?" He said, "Yeah, it's fine." Could not have been cooler, could not have been nicer. We sit in the intake garage there, and we're joking, and we're laughing, and we're just, talking some shit. And so far, this whole experience, like, I was dreading this all weekend. I've never had anything like this, thrust upon me, shall we say. So I get into the part where they search you. So they bring you in, a couple of doors buzz, you go through those security doors for intake, and they meet you and they take your wallet and your phone and your key. Well, I don't think I brought my keys, but all of that stuff. They take all of those things, and they search you. They don't get you naked and stick shit up your butt. That's not what they do. But as they search you and everything else, we were talking and we're just bullshitting and just they're telling jokes and I'm joking back with that. This is going to sound weird to say. The first few minutes of it were fun. I was having a good time. I couldn't believe how professional Officer Toma was in the arrest and all of that. I get to intake, and the first thing the woman says at intake, she goes, "Wow, you're going to be the best dressed guy here." And I'm like, "Yes." And she opens up my wallet. They got to take out all the cards. She goes, well, she sees a Caesar's Palace, an MGM Grand, a Mystic Lake, and 2 Hinckley game cards. The Players Club cards. She goes, "Wow, this guy really likes Vegas and gambling." I'm like, and I told her, I go, "Yeah, if you guys would all cut it out, I could afford to go back." So they do all that. I get put in the holding cell, where there's you kind of see it on TV. There's like 10, 15 people in there. There was one other guy in there. He was in there for DUI. He smelled, as people arrested overnight for DUI tend to be. He was stinky. It smelled in there. And they gave me a little orange coffee cup that had some cheese and crackers in it and some vanilla cream sandwich cookies. I was like, "Oh, this is nice." And one of the officers goes, "I think there's one tray still left over for breakfast. Would you like it?" I'm like, "I'm not going to turn it down." Sure. So I didn't really eat I drank the milk and I had a few bites of the cinnamon roll. That was it. And then they take me to my own cell. And as they take me to my own cell, they're, again, very nice. Joking. Yeah, so far they're being like, it's like a hotel stay where you can't leave so far. I mean, they brought me some blankets and, some other stuff. And it really was like, it was a hotel stay where there was a certain checkout time and you're not allowed to leave before that checkout time. And the only thing I remember thinking about like what was lacking was because they bring you a phone and you could make a call. And then if you had a free phone call, and then you can call your attorney as many times you want. I don't know if I was supposed to be Mirandized or not. I was never Mirandized. I don't know if that's an issue. I emailed that to my attorney yesterday. I'm like, oh, nobody ever read me my rights, I mean, nothing. I was never brought into a room and, questioned or anything like that. But I was, I thought that was weird. I was like, I'll keep this under my hat until after court. That nobody ever Mirandized me or whatever. Maybe they don't have to. I don't know. But I remember thinking when they put me in the cell by myself, I didn't have too much time to really think or anything like that because one of the officers came up. He goes, "You want a book or something?" I said, "Sure, I'll take a book. Whatever you got." Brings me 2 books by this guy, David Baldacci, who writes like detective novels, detective fiction. I read like 105 pages, a pretty good book. I get a little sleepy. I took 2 naps while I was in there. So yeah, like I just took my blankets, took the little mattress they have, put it up on the bench there, laid down, out like a light. Took a nap before court. Then did court, didn't have to say a word. I was just sitting there, a mannequin, a statue. Todd and I talked beforehand, pretty informal. That whole process is not like, I'm going to prove my, this is bullshit and all that. You don't do that there. It's just you stand there. They tell you, you can't talk about this, that. See you later. Get the fuck out of here. And then you get the fuck out of there. Well, they booked me. And by the way, can we have an honest discussion? Are you guys just going to be cunts all day? Or can we have an honest discussion about that mugshot? Because that is not a bad mugshot. I was terrified about having a mugshot. That's one of the best mugshots you've ever seen. By the way, if you have a theory about the Fox 9 story, and if there's a guy who either has a firm or knows somebody, you're correct. That was, I'm not big enough for that story. A guy was involved with that. A guy was involved with it. Hey, you know what? I got it. I hear you. I get it. That's not fuck you. That's not a bad mugshot. That looks like it could be a work picture. Look at me. I got color. I'm all tan and shit. I've seen mugshots of people that are pasty and pale and look like warmed over death and like they're sad and their faces are drawn, whatever. Fuck you guys. I stand by that mugshot. That's a good mugshot. I'm happy with that mugshot. And, I wasn't in a terrible mood when it was taken because all the people there were so professional and nice and dare I say sweet. Everyone there was really cool. They really were. I cannot say anything bad about the fine people at the Stearns County Police Department that worked at the jail there. There are some crazy fucking people they deal with, man. There are some crazy fucking people they deal. Oh my God. There was one guy who I'm pretty sure it sounded like he was doing a sermon the entire time I was there. And it's amazing how you shut those things out over time. It's amazing how quickly while you're there, you just shut stuff like that out. This guy was just, by the end, it was just this low murmur that I heard through the walls. It was just, blah, 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 like the Charlie Brown teacher. It was just, blah, 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 blah. There was another guy who periodically would just start screaming and kicking his door and everything else. I came out of court and one of the female officers was like, "Oh, I'll just take this bag of piss and I'll dispose of it." And I'm like, "Oh, there's a bag of piss. That's they got a bag of piss." Something happened while I was in there. No, everybody was cool. Everybody was really nice. No complaints about that part of it. It took a little while between court and getting me out of there, like after I was booked and fingerprinted and mugshot and the whole thing. It took a while to get out of there. I don't know what that was all about, but I laid down, I took a nap, and when I woke up, they were opening the door and saying, "You're free to go." Sounds good to me. So that was my day in jail. That was, well, my morning in jail, I should say. You know what the worst part about being in there is? One of the things I wanted, the one thing I wanted that I didn't get was I was like, God, I don't know why I just kept thinking this. I was like, what would really pass the rest of this time real easy? If someone would just come in here and talk Vikings with me. Like, I'm excited about the start of the season, and I just wanted to talk about the Vikings. Other than that, no complaints. But the weirdest thing about being in there for half a day is turning on your phone after you get it back and just waiting. Like, you're just sitting there and you're waiting, and it's just all. I set it down on a table while I was waiting for my ride to come pick me up, and as I set it down on the table, it was just. I mean, for a solid minute and a half, 2 minutes straight, it was just vibrate. If I would have shoved the thing up my ass, the whole lobby would have been filled with splooge. It would have. Something would have got to the old prostate eventually.